Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing a generic 2020 electoral college vote. Um, Mr. Trump, who I'm going to assume is probably going to be the Republican nominee unless if something crazy happens, versus, I don't know, some random Democrat. Pick whoever you want. You don't even have to pick anyone if you don't want to. This is just a very general thing. Also, I will have some states and districts that I'm not going to call because they would be too close to call for most of the election night. So, regardless, let's get this started. Virginia, I definitely see going for the Democrats, pretty much regardless of who they nominate, partially because of the proximity to the DC area, and since DC is kind of growing outwards, Northern Virginia is very much becoming Democratic, and I think that'll help push Virginia into their category once again. Um, let's see. Nevada ultimately, I think, would go for the Democrats. I'm not too confident that Mr. Trump could appeal to enough voters um, to pick up Nevada like he was projected to in 2016, but ultimately he didn't. So if he didn't the first time, I don't think he will the second time. For Mr. Trump, I think Georgia. Well, I think Georgia will stick. Sorry, just have a little thing I need to fix. Um, Georgia will stick in the Republican column. Ultimately, I don't see many, if any, Democrats flipping that. Ohio, I think, would stick in the Republican column. We'll go back to North Carolina. Iowa, I kind of see sticking in the Republican column. Um, let's see here. Texas, ultimately, Texas could be a very, very close state, but I don't really believe that it can go Democratic in 2020. 2024, I think, is a different story, and I think that it definitely, I think over time Texas will becoming more and more contested and eventually more and more Democratic. But ultimately, I don't think that 2020 is the year that that truly happens. Um, Colorado, I think right now is a pretty solid Democratic state, at least on the presidential level. Um, the Senate race, I'm not 100% sure on. That's going to be probably the closest of the night. Well, one of the closer ones of the night. Um, and let's see here. What else? North Carolina, I'm going to say probably breaks. Nah. Well, let's go through the states that I haven't called and won't call for this video. I might say who I think it's more likely to go for, but I'm not ultimately going to call it. Florida, it will always be close. Ultimately, I think it's definitely leaning towards the Republicans because every time we think Florida is going blue, 2016, 2018, 2000, even if you want to go back that far. Um, every time that we think it's going Democratic, the Republicans pull it out. So I ultimately think something similar will happen, but it would be too close to ultimately call. Arizona is a very interesting state. Trump won it in 2016, but the 2018 Senate race, where even with the Green Party pulling votes definitely way more from the Democrat than the Republican, the Democrats still won by a couple percentage points. Um, so it'll depend. I think part of it will be who the nominee is, which obviously I'm not saying who their nominee is, but I think it could be very, very interesting. Could go either way, honestly. The whole Rust Belt, um, including Minnesota, I think would be toss-ups, as they are every election. It depends if Trump keeps with the white working class voters. If not, the states go back to the Democratic side. But if Trump ultimately um, sticks with the voters, I think that he could probably pick it up again. Nebraska second really depends who it is. Most of the time, I would say probably Republican, but you never truly know. Maine second district's a toss-up, probably lean Republican, maybe. North Carolina, toss-up, but probably lean Republican. New Hampshire's a very interesting state. It's always very close. I believe Hillary won by a very, very slim margin. So I think it might stay Democratic, but it's definitely too close for me to really call. And one thing that I will put is Maine overall, I think, will go Democratic. Um, this is partially due to the fact that Maine's first district is very solidly Democratic, and Maine's first district is, I would say, a little bit bigger. No, they're pretty similar size. Um, but the fact that one's split and the other one's pretty solidly for one party kind of shows that Maine at large will probably stay in the Democratic column. So you guys tell me what you think. Tell me if you like these kinds of videos. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also join us on the subreddit at r/JBCReddit. And I will see you all in the next video.